All right, let's talk about our boy Post Malone. So he's done a few interviews in the past few months that have really gotten him in trouble. Maybe they're taken out of context. And so his most recent one is with GQ. He talks about the struggle of being a white rapper. He says, I definitely feel like there's a struggle being a white rapper, but I don't want to be a rapper. I just want to be a person that makes music. I make music that I like, and I think that kicks ass, that I think people who fuck with me as a person, as an artist will like. I don't know if I read that. That got very confusing. What do you guys think of his comment? So remember a few months ago, he basically said if you're looking to cry and have an emotional moment, don't listen to hip hop. Yeah. And I don't think he meant it in an offensive way, right? We were saying that he was drinking a little during it, but since then, like, he's just having a hard time. So are you understanding what he's saying here?
I think, 20 years ago, his comments would have been deemed insensitive. Once upon a time, you had people like Marky Mark, MC Serch, Vanilla Ice, and Eminem. They knew and respected their position within a black genre, so to speak. Post Malone is very young. What is he, 22, 23 or something like that?
23, I believe.
He's born into hip hop. So he feels different. He feels he can say certain things. I don't think I'm necessarily bothered or mad by what he said.
He's born into hip hop?
He's born into it. He's young. I mean, he's known the dominant genre all his life. I mean, if you look at somebody like Logic, would you say he's a white rapper, or would you just say he's a good rapper?
Well, when you say born into hip-hop, I think about Post Malone trying like two different genres of music before he popped off with hip-hop.
Right.
And I think that contradicts these very statements. I think he needs to stop doing interviews, and I love Post. But he has to stop doing interviews. He's putting his foot in his mouth again and again. Whatever he thinks is the struggles of being a white rapper has also helped him.
He's young, and he should be allowed to make outlandish comments, statements, to contradict himself and to grow within the process. I have no problem with that.
But just like his last comments where he was speaking on hip-hop as a whole genre, he should probably just keep his comments for himself. Like, to say, hey, I am having a hard time. When you say it's hard to be a white rapper, it clearly ignores that the fan base that he's curated, no black artist is... If you've seen a Post Malone show, there's a different demographic there. It's not just hip hop. It's also a different demographic that don't
alternative
really
crossover.
Exactly. And I do believe that for most African Americans who do hip hop, like, you're looking at Post saying, "What the fuck are you talking about?" You might get some criticisms because you are in a genre that's dominated by African Americans. But how the fuck? Why are you saying it's hard to be a white rapper?
But at the same time, I think he's been somewhat sort of respectful. I don't think that he's been arrogant or condescending. He said some things that are a little, eyebrow raising, but I'm okay with it personally.
Yeah, so he went on a little rant during a show basically addressing all the people who shit on him and accuse him of cultural appropriation. I feel kind of bad because it's clearly getting to him, right? It doesn't seem like he has bad intentions, so maybe his best move is your advice, just taking it easy with the interviews.
Stop doing interviews. He needs to look to, and I think all white rappers who are now thrusted in the mainstream spotlight, you should look at Macklemore. Macklemore handles stuff well because hip hop is, again, it's not all about.
He's older though. He's older.
Yeah, but it's hip hop is not only about just getting a hot song and just rocking out. Like, you're gonna come under fire for these things because hip hop at times do become about the larger issue for the black community. And when you're just a white guy who could seemingly ignore that, but then only focus on the problems that you feel you're getting because you're not of the majority or the dominant group within the culture, we're not going to really give a fuck about that struggle when you're not acknowledging everything else. So I think he should chill off the interviews. I don't think he's like...
I'm not bothered by his comments. It's just, again, I just chalk it up to him being young, growing. I don't think it's that serious. I really don't.
So even if Post comments are, making some bad headlines, do you think it's actually going to affect any of his music? He has an album coming soon. He delayed it a little bit, but...
No
chance.
I don't think it's that deep. I think that the audience is with him. And again, I think he's been respectful too. Who was it that wrote the Joey Badass? He didn't diss Joey Badass for making the comments about he co-wrote Rockstar.
He couldn't. If that's a fact.
He could have said something slick, but he didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think I think there's an audience, especially a black audience, that's waiting to pick at him, like they do with every white artist that operates in hip hop, because they want to see the respect, they want to see that you're not just quote unquote culture vulturing. However, beyond even that, he has his own audience, and he's gonna continue to prosper in hip hop. He makes phenomenal songs. I just feel, and I think a lot of people have just suggested, just chill off the interviews, just focus on the music. His music is phenomenal. That's only when he came out with White Iverson, I was like, this guy's a one-hit wonder. I think we even got a little Twitter.
Do you think he is culture vulturing?
No.
Okay. You
No.
just think he should fall back on interviews and comments?
I don't think he knows how to properly represent his thoughts or his stance on things that are cultural in nature.
Yeah, so it's that he's just young.
Yeah, in the GQ interview, I think the writer follows up by asking, like, do you know that being a black rapper is political? And then he has some trouble answering. So I think you're right. He should just fall back until he can figure out the right way to address some of
Or
that
gotta
stuff.
learn some no comments. Like, just no comment, man. Ask me about the motherfucking shit I'm rapping about. I don't know what you talking about with this other stuff. Gotta do something.